weekend, but right now, with your Friday breakfast, and he only ever wears the very finest of jumpers. It's Nick Ferrari.
Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Steve Allen. At 7 o'clock on Friday, April the 9th. We're almost there. Yes, summer holidays could be coming, but at a cost. You'll hear from Grant Shapps in the first hour. Meanwhile, in other news, to Belfast.
Attention, disperse immediately. Our water problems will begin.
It's another night of rioting. You remember this parish council villain?
It's only the chairman who can remove people from a meeting. You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
He's finally addressed his critics, and after an LBC exclusive jail for a people smuggling gang, Home Secretary Priti Patel, you'll hear from her later in the show. It's all after the 7 o'clock news on LBC.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 7 o'clock, plans to allow international travel to resume have been published by the government, but there's still no confirmation of when people can go abroad. Countries will be graded against a traffic light system based on their risk, but we won't know which destinations are green, amber or red until early May. Arrivals from those coded green won't have to quarantine on return, but they must take a PCR COVID test costing around £120. Becky Griffiths, who runs a travel company, is hoping people can go on holiday from mid-May as planned.
May 17th will be countries that are well in the green. Vaccine rollout's going well, rates are all very low. So I think they'll be almost used as a bit of a test pilot.
Everyone in England is now being encouraged to undergo twice weekly COVID-19 testing. People can order the lateral flow test to their homes. They provide results in around 30 minutes. The Welsh Government has announced some coronavirus restrictions will be eased earlier than planned. 2 households will be able to meet indoors, and gyms can reopen on the 3rd of May rather than the 10th. And outdoor wedding receptions for up to 30 people can go ahead on the 26th of April. That's also a week earlier than planned. First Minister Mark Drakeford says it's due to improvements in the public health situation. Police in West Belfast have used water cannon against rioters on a 7th night of violence in Northern Ireland. Gangs on the nationalist Springfield Road attacked officers with petrol bombs, fireworks and stones. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says President Biden is concerned by the ongoing unrest.
We join the British, Irish and Northern Irish leaders in their calls for calm. We remain steadfast supporters of a secure and prosperous Northern Ireland in which all communities have a voice and enjoy the gains of the hard-won peace.
A report is calling for the use of body mass index to stop being used to determine a person's weight. MPs on the Women and Equalities Committee are concerned that BMI contributes to eating disorders. People are being warned against using their pet's name for passwords. New research has found 15% of us do so. The National Cyber Security Centre argues that can make it easier for hackers to force their way into accounts by simply guessing common pet names. In the city, the FTSE 100 will reopen at 69.42 after closing up 56 points yesterday. The pound buys $1.37, the euro 15. And the weather, northern areas will be cold with a mixture of sunshine and wintry showers. Further south, mostly cloudy with some rain in places, a high of 11 degrees. From Global's newsroom, I'm Simon Conway.
The day has come for Joe to make space for his new laptop. What a sleek and powerful machine. But instead of putting his new machine to the test, he's worried sick. It's already got a virus. Why, Joe? Why get something so great just to leave it open to attack? Well, worry no more. Only BT Broadband gives you expert security with tools worth over £100 to help protect you from cyber attack. Search BT Broadband. BT Beyond Limits.
Terms apply. Verify bt.com/verify security.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Ferrari at breakfast.
Good morning to you. 3 minutes after 7 on Friday, April the 9th. The holiday sun is on the horizon, but at a cost. You'll hear from Transport Secretary Grant Shapps later in this hour. The plans to slowly get us to go on holiday, but it will be to a sort of traffic light system. We'll give you full details on that. To Belfast now, US President Conway.
Ministers say they won't reveal until early May which countries people can travel to without having to quarantine on return. Everyone in England is now being encouraged to undergo twice weekly COVID testing, and police in West Belfast have used water cannon against rioters on a seventh night of violence in Northern Ireland. The weather, wintry showers in the north, patchy rain in the south, a high of 11 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Joanne. We're very busy on the M25 anti-clockwise, junction 27 at the M11, and that's because the lorry broke down earlier. It's now been recovered, but it's still very slow. And then also on the M25, there's just been an accident clockwise at junction 6 at Godstone. One lane is closed, and already it is very busy on the approach. Queues on the A40 eastbound to Gypsy Corner because emergency repair works are taking place, and one lane is closed. On the underground, Temple Station remains closed because of a shortage of staff, and on the trains, TfL services remain suspended to Liverpool Street and Stratford.
This is LBC.
5. The Kia countdown to going hybrid has started. 4. With 4 stunning hybrid cars, including the Kia Sportage, Exceed, Niro and Stonic. 3. All come with 3 amazing offers until the end of May. 2. First 2 services free, 2 years roadside assistance. 1. And the big one? 0. That's right, 0% APR. It's time to go hybrid with Kia. Search Go Hybrid with Kia today. Kia. Movement that inspires. 0% APR available over 24 months with minimum 20% deposit. Kia Finance.
Call Nick Ferrari now. 0345 6060 973 LBC.
Come to Galliard for brand new Southwest London homes for under £330,000. Wimbledon Grounds is just 1.1 miles from the Tube, and Earlsfield Mainline to Waterloo takes just 13 minutes. Apartments come fully furnished down to your toothbrush, the majority of which benefit from a Help to Buy mortgage with just a 5% deposit and up to £15,000 off with our stamp duty holiday extended till January 2022. Book at our COVID secure event at Wimbledon Grounds, 87 Plough Lane, London, SW17 0LG, from 5 p.m. on Friday the 16th of April till 5 p.m. Sunday the 18th. Call 0203 770 6300 or visit galliardhomes.com. Stamp duty applies on the first £500,000 of any new purchase. Terms and conditions apply.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can meet up outside in groups of up to 6 or 2 households. Have friends around for a drink in the garden. There you are, doing your bit, keeping a safe distance. When it starts to get dark and a little chilly, and suddenly your lounge looks very warm and inviting. But don't forget, you're much safer in the fresh air, because COVID-19 particles are blown away. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air.
Do you like pinball and free stuff? Then try all new prize pinball at Betfair Casino. It's flipping free every day. There's the chance to win free spins, cash prizes, and more. So play prize pinball today, only at Betfair Casino.
T's apply. 1 game per customer per day. Individual prize terms and expiry periods apply. If you're excluded from Betfair promotions or the Betfair Rewards basic package, you will not be eligible for prize pinball. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
How you feel tomorrow starts with award-winning care at your local Nuffield Health Hospital. With consultant-led treatment and unlimited aftercare, our COVID-19 secure hospitals specialise in hip and knee surgery, cataract removal, and men's and women's health. From diagnosis to recovery, how you feel tomorrow starts today. Search Nuffield Health Hospitals to book your consultation. Facilities available at selected locations. Visit nuffieldhealth.com/terms for details.
Wimbledon Grounds stamp duty holiday extended by Galliard until 2022. Galliardhomes.com, that's galliardhomes.com. Applies on the first £500,000 of any new purchase.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
7:21. Let's quickly take you through the front pages of the newspapers. The holidays make 2 of the front pages, both the Daily Mail and the Daily Telegraph. The Mail perhaps a little bit optimistic. think you've heard before. Jabs to the front page of the Times as well. Majority of Britons trust Oxford jab, the poll shows. This brutal murder we're going to bring you, well, that's ridiculous, all murders are brutal, how ridiculous. But this murder in the mansion is the front page of both the Daily Mirror and the Daily Express. Hotels tycoon murdered in his mansion. This is one of the wealthiest men. He was on the Sunday Times rich list. He owned a number of hotels, including the Athenaeum in London on Park Lane. Murdered in his home in Dorset. With a report on that. That's the front page, as I say, of the Mirror and the Express. The Express headline: Hotel tycoon stabbed to death, which I think that just leaves me, yes it does, with the Sun. And not least because she's one of my colleagues here at Global Radio, so great news for Kate Garraway. Let's hope the recovery, the full recovery starts. Kate Garraway has her husband home. That is, of course, Derek Draper. He's been taken off machines, but will, the Sun reports, have round-the-clock care of the family's adapted property in London. A friend saying Kate has dreamt of this day, so I sometimes wonder through the corridors how she has kept her spirits up through this time. I know not. She's an extraordinary force for good, and I wish her well. So good luck, Kate. There we go as well for you. If you're probably actually busy working someplace else, but if you happen to be in a car, best of luck. It must be a massive day for you. All right, let's talk holidays. Paul's in Sheppey in Kent. Ready to fork out that extra money? Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, hi.
Hello, sir. What's your plans now? How have they changed, or what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I only texted in because it never seems to be mentioned about people that do have holiday homes. I know we're lucky to have holiday homes. I've gone there for about 18 years.
Well, and when you say there, where is it, Paul?
We've got one in Normandy at the moment, but before that we had one in Brittany.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, obviously you understand we can't.
In normal times, before February or March of last year, how often would you get over to see your second home in France?
We used to travel over on the weekends. We've probably been there quite a few times a year, actually. Yeah. We come over, because I live obviously in Kent.
Yeah, so you're not a million miles from Dover, and you're there, aren't you? And then presumably a fairly quick drive to your house. Beautiful.
Yeah.
When were you last there, Paul?
September last year.
Okay.
Yeah, we're obviously able to keep an eye on it. So we don't know if it's successful.
Have you got neighbours or a friend who's mum or whatever it might be. I think that is. Paul, safe travelling as and when you get back on those ferries. David will talk to you in a moment. I think you're also looking at the French aspect, but let's go elsewhere. We go to Belfast, Northern Ireland, seeing its worst night of violence for years. Police officers attacked petrol box hub and a bus satellite at Belfast. Paramilitaries accused of goading children as young as 12 into rioting, while appeals for calm were made after the disorder in mainly loyalist areas. News at Stormont said it was a miracle no one was killed.